everybody. Welcome back to Underground Consciousness, where we use the pen to push the issues. Today is a segment of Wellness Checks with UGC, and I'm so excited because I have some of my favorite ladies with me today. This is Kristal and Kaleacia, and they are going to just have a conversation with me like last episode. We're going to talk about some mental health issues. We're going to talk about how we're dealing with pandemic, and hopefully give you guys some great tips to deal with this time, okay? So I'm going to let them introduce yourselves, and we're going to get right into the questions. So, Kaleacia,
okay.
You want to start?
Oh, child. I told y'all before we started who was going to go first. Also, okay, well, I guess I'll start with my name is Kaleacia. I just realized that UGC stands for Underground Consciousness, so there's that. And yeah, I'm excited to be here a little bit. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, my name is Kristal. Just your typical, I don't think average, female, mother of one, wife, aiming to become a mother of two. And I'm just super excited to be here supporting a little bit as well.
Yay! And for y'all, just another nickname. Last episode, y'all got a cocoa bean or a cocoa. Now we get a little bit. So y'all see, people call me the thing. All right, so we're gonna hop right into it. Not gonna hold the time up. So I basically want to start off with the question of how are you guys dealing with the quarantine, social distancing, being at home now, working from home? I know you guys both work corporate jobs. Y'all real important at y'all job. So how is the transition from working 9 to 5 Monday through Wednesday in downtown San Francisco to at home all the time? How is that transition going?
Take that one first, Major.
No, you go. I thought you wanted to do it.
I don't know. I think it's a lot. I'll say that. Part of it is I'm very grateful, right, to have a job. I'm very grateful that in this shelter in place, I have a full-time job with my full income. I'm not missing anything. But what I've found to be an issue is just like, I feel like I'm working a lot. I feel like it's been a lot of work. And so me and Key was actually talking about this today.
Yeah.
It's just trying to find balance in all of this. I know, like, even going into this, we've dealt with, and I don't want to get ahead, but we talked about like how there's different types of quarantine. And when I say different types, I mean, like, you have your single person, you have your single family, you have your family with children, you have your families who live together, and we are all trying to cope with it differently. My husband is an entrepreneur. So when we're off work, he is off work, right? It's not like he has to take any calls. His business is shut down. So that means sometimes he wants to do other things that I'm not able to do because I am literally stuck to a computer. And if I'm not stuck to my computer, my phone is in my hand doing something because it's like around the clock. And so it's been busy, but just trying to be grateful and trying to find a balance. I actually took Friday off, and I was battling with taking Friday off because you don't want to be looked at like, well, you guys are at home working all day. Why do you need a day off? But I had to like have a real life moment. Like, I need a day to close my computer, to close out from the world and just like refill. And so I'm feeling better today, but it's been a story.
Good.
Yeah, I would definitely echo a lot of that. We did have the privilege at my job, and I know a lot of folks do, to be able to work from home, right? So like some folks will work from home. I probably would do it maybe once a week max, because I actually am one who likes to go into the office. I really do like the rhythm of that, and being able to separate my work life as best I can from my home life. And so for me, it really has been a challenge to find that balance, right? Even as a single person, really being able to shut off work and just be.
Yeah.
Right. And I was telling Chris today, we was talking how I'm noticing we use Slack as a form of communication. We use Google Meet, Google Chat, all of those things. And I'm noticing that the communication is starting earlier. You know what I mean? So like in the mornings before we might, you got your East Coast folks, so they always going to be a little bit ahead of the curve there. But now you have folks starting to Slack you at 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and they go late, y'all. It's not like, okay, 5 and it starts to like dissipate, but you are going to like 8-ish 9-ish, and it's a feel. I don't know if that's for everybody. The type of work that I do is being unfortunately really impacted by COVID and some of the local restrictions and shelter in place and all of that. So the grind right now is, how do we save our business? And then I work with partners who have smaller entities that work with us, and it's, how do I help them save their business? And so not only are you working these long hours, the pressure, the stakes feel higher, and then there is this internal guilt that you kind of battle with, like Chris was saying, where you really don't feel like you should take a day off. You really don't even feel like you're worthy enough to speak negatively about how much you're working, because you are blessed to have a job. Like, working is a privilege right now, right? It's not necessarily a right. And so you're doing all of this. And I also noticed, and I'm sure we'll get into this later, that I haven't been making enough time for me to check in with me about what's going on around me.
Yeah.
Right. This is having a very real emotional, financial, even physical, all of these impacts to the way in which we live our lives. And I feel like I've been so engrossed in work to where I'm not even able to really process what's going on around me. And because I'm off balance right now, and I'm praying I'm going to find some balance, because we're in it, at least for my job, until September. Yeah. So I have to figure out a way to create a balance in the way I'm going to manage this, at least the working from home part. And like with my overall well-being. Yeah. So yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I think we talked about this in the episode before, but like trying to making sure that we divvy out that time, because I think it's not even just with work, because my semester is finally ending, but after everything going online, so I'm still blessed to have a job, so I still go in, but everything for school is going online. And so now you have these teachers constantly constantly sending homework, just assuming because everybody's at home, it's like, oh, you have the time, or you're not that busy, or whatever the case may be. And I don't think people realize that everything's going online. So not only are you getting like emails every day, you're going on Zoom meetings for your social life, Zoom meetings for church, like you're constantly going. And so even being at home, a lot of times we are forgetting, like paying attention to not overloading, even though you're at home, is like a major thing. I think I've had like I have a good balance. So there, like you said before, there's like different levels to quarantine, or like what type of quarantine you're doing. And I'm a balance in both. So I'm still blessed to work, but everything else is shut down. So I'm out in the morning, but I'm back home by like 1:00. And so it's been really interesting to see like everything really break down. At first I wasn't tripping. I'm like a good balance of introvert, extrovert. So I really wasn't tripping. And then you get to like a point where you're like, all right, like I think I'm about to go so crazy in 2.5 seconds.
Girl.
So it's been really interesting, or challenging, not challenging, but interesting, trying to find that balance between everything. Learning how to still go to work. I don't have as much as you guys do when it comes home from work. Everything's pretty much at work because I work at a clinic. So dealing with people at work is pretty much what it is. But me having this time, and I'm trying to get back into my own branding and business, and I realized, oh my God, like it's so much. So like I feel y'all.
Real sex is real.
It really is. I'm
adulting, Courtney. You're adulting.
I am, y'all. It's different, and I'm getting used to it. I don't hate it, but has to get better. But okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about, and I think we are already kind of getting into it, is where I'm trying to think of where my moment was where I'm like, wow, this is really real. But what can you guys think of the moment where you guys were like, wow, we're really in a pandemic, like this is really a real thing? I think for me, when it got real for me was when they actually when our mayor sent like they did like the news broadcast. When your mayor do like address to the city or whatever. And my grandma, she has a thing about keeping the news on 24/7. I don't know, that drives me crazy, but it suits her. So I came in the living room, and the mayor was giving like a address to the city, and was like, you have to, like, mandatory stay-at-home orders. If you're not this, or this, you need to be at home. And I was like, oh, like, oh, this is real. Like, this is not a game. And it like completely, I didn't panic because I'm still considered an essential worker. So I wasn't panicking, but even because I was an essential worker, I'm like, well, dang, are they gonna pull me over? Like, do I need to have like carry certain type of credentials? Because that was the talk too. And I'm just like, so that was the moment I knew, this is kind of real. So when was that moment where y'all like, this is not a game? We are in it for real.
I think my moment, I think I'm still having moments because
I was going to say the same thing.
I haven't just had that one moment where it's just like this. I feel like it's evolving. Like I get comfortable in one space and then it's like we keep getting more news. But I think when I've taken it serious from day one, just because I don't know. I'd rather be over prepared than under, right? So from day one, I kind of took it serious, but I kind of felt like it was real when we had to make that final grocery store run. And like,
girl, let me tell you,
like stuff that I use on a day-to-day, like it was hard to purchase. And I was like, wait, it almost had me a little too scared, because at first I wasn't scared. I'm just like, okay, we'll just prepare and take it from there. I'm not gonna lie, going in, I was like, ooh, I could have a break, because I also have the privilege of working from home, occasionally, but now I'm like, oh, I have to work from home, where I'm about to let my hair down and just, maybe take my wig off, just enjoy the day. And going to the grocery store, seeing that like you couldn't buy tissue, it was to the point to where baby wipes were gone. Like
that was crazy.
People who have babies and could not find baby wipes. It was like little things like Lysol. Like we've been using Lysol since we were little. We grew up in the African American. We know Lysol and bleach and all this. We couldn't buy anything, and that's when I really was like, oh, this is serious. Even if that wasn't the indicator, in my mind, I'm like, this is like getting real. Like I have to roll dice to see what store I'm gonna go to pick up tissue. And I thought that's when I took it like, oh, this is real. And then like my dad, he's older, so he really shouldn't have been out. But like every week, even up until now, he would just drop off stuff, like things of soap, things of tissue, things of eggs, chicken, meat, like anything that he could, when he was out, anything that he could grab, he was just grabbing it and bringing it to the house. And I was like, oh, this is real. You have my daddy out in the grocery store making store runs, dropping stuff off at everybody's house. So I think that was like, that was my moment where I was just like, okay.
It's real. Y'all, and I think to Chris's point, I keep having these moments where I am like, we really in this, because to like exactly what she said is true. You have this where you will adjust, right? And then something will happen and it will kind of snap you back where you're like, oh goodness, this is why we're in this situation. And then it kind of, and then you like up again. So it's been very like this. I would say a few moments for me at various points was the Trader Joe's line. Okay. Let me tell y'all. So in this season, to all the people that's watching, you got to pick what you on your strategy. You can't everywhere. Okay. I'm going to get your pen and paper out. The Lord is about to speak to you. You got to pick your strategy. Now, I can't vouch for every Trader Joe's everywhere, but to me, you know what I mean? They were doing what I feel like the CDC should have been instructing us to do. They were taking it serious from jump. Yeah. Okay. They were spraying you upon entry. And so they were doing it. Girl, yes, Joe. Everybody else. Girl, now everybody got that line, and only so many people. I mean, they were early adopters. They were innovators at Trader Joe's. So I think the Trader Joe's line is where it got real, when you literally are used to getting up and I can run to the store and just grab a chocolate. Yeah. That is now an hour and a half experience. You ain't running up into nobody's stores anymore, just grabbing something. And so when really getting to a store at 7:00 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning to get in line and watching the people with their mask on in that line, it's a trippy experience for you. And one of my homegirls, she live in New York, and we all know how bad it has been in New York and everything like that. And she lives in Brooklyn, and hearing her talk on the line and kind of talking to different friends. I have friends that are expecting, and how do I give birth in this environment? And all of that makes the gravity of this moment and the illness and all the unknownness about it so much more real. when you have people in your lives that are like, this person is here, they can't fly home, we can't, you know what I mean? It really becomes, we are isolated, some folks, we are in this experience. And I think the weight of that becomes very, very real. But yeah, I would say that. I would say once the layoff started at my job, all of those are moments where you're just like, my goodness. And then you start hearing about, thank the Lord, not folks that are close to me, but when you start seeing the news of certain individuals that have passed away from it, those are all snaps back to reality about what we're dealing with here.
That was another good moment, another moment for me too. And that was like later in the game. My good girlfriend, like sister dear to my heart, was pregnant. And it was just like hearing the stories of like what she was going to have to deal with her pregnancy, and like having this huge family and having her immediate family, like her children that she has, not being able to be with her in labor. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to group FaceTime when your loved one is giving birth, and you're like, what? Like when have we ever? We love to show up with some congratulations balloons, and we like to wait in them waiting rooms, and everybody want to go in, and to have to, you know, her children have to see her give birth via a group FaceTime. And when my grandmother, she had to have surgery doing all of this.
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative that she's healthy and doing well, but she had to have a serious surgery. And my mother had to drop her off at the front door. They would not even allow her to step in the door. Someone was waiting at the hospital for my grandmother and pushed her in. And so it was like another moment, like, geez, it's real. This, we're thankful that it wasn't, but this could have been the last time that we've seen her. And you wasn't even there to walk her up to the hospital room to make sure that the doctors were okay. You couldn't do that final, you know, our good old prayer right before. It was like right here at this moment. Once you step out this car, I am no longer with you. And so that was like another moment. So it's just like, it's all of these moments. It's like, okay, I'm getting cool. And then something happened. And because of this pandemic, you're being hit with an extra shield, layer of something like, well, you can't do this because of that. So it kind of, it puts things into perspective. And to Key's point about the store, the funny thing is now you think twice about going to get a snack.
Come on,
you do.
You think twice, like, do I really need that? Or am I just going to go home and YouTube something that I can make with the things that I have at home? It makes you think twice, because it's like the lines are super long. First of all, people are now making field trips out of the grocery store because that's the only thing that's open, right? So
that part right there, bestie.
Yeah, we're looking for reasons to go to the grocery store, a whole refrigerator full of stuff. And we like, well, I got to run to Target, you know, I got to run to Walmart, I got to run to Safeway, Trader Joe's. We're looking for reasons because we don't want to be in a house. And so it adds another thing, because now everybody just roam in the store lines and roam in the line, the aisles and all of this stuff, because this is like your little trip for the day.
Can I tell y'all, yesterday, I had been in the house all day. I braided my cousin's hair, did a real, don't judge me because social distant people, she needed her hair done. Look, it's been struggle. Did her hair, sent her home, and me and my mom went to the store. We did a no contact pickup from Best Buy. Mom was like, I want to go to Dollar Tree. I'm like, what do you need? Like,
yeah.
I just need to go. I just need to get out of the house. Dollar Tree is probably 5 aisles. She just want to walk. Talk. Yeah. Oh, this cute. I need this. I need this. We ain't at the church. What you need it for? And nobody at the church using that right now. I don't know. So I can relate. Literally just going to Dollar. I've never spent so long in Dollar Tree, but I said, you know what? You have not been out of the house. I'm gonna let you have this moment.
Yeah.
You buy. Go. Your happy heart's desire. It's only $1. Everything in here $1. You can't spend too much.
So that's like my grandma, y'all, for the people in the, I don't even know where you broadcasting this, but the people, you know, in the cyber world, on the World Wide Web. So my Gma lives in Texas, and this woman refuses, I know I can speak freely because I know she ain't gonna see it. This lady refuses to stay in the house. All of a sudden she got that Dollar Tree, that Dollar General spirit, trying to go to the dollar store. She gonna claim that we got her under house arrest. She go to this thing down there in the small town where she lives. It's called Free Food. Basically, it's like where they go and they share and care. There we go. Thank you. It's share and care. And it's where they pass out free food to like people who need need it. And she's a volunteer there. But this is not a volunteer season for you because you are clearly in that population that's supposed to be in the house. You know what I mean? And I didn't know her life was this full of things to do with how she complains about how she can't get out. I can't go to the dollar store, but it's like, really, what do you need from the dollar store, baby? And we catch her. She be in the streets, and like people will call my aunts there and let them know that, you know, we seen her out here dipping.
I've seen her. My grandma does the same thing, but hers is not dollar store. She needs to go to either Walmart, the bank, and Sam's Club.
That bank is the devil.
It's the whole show of devil.
But she always feels the need to gotta go. That's her and my auntie's trip for the day. I'm not gonna judge you, but as long as she be having her mask, she has her gloves. I said, as long as you staying safe, you wipe this stuff down. I'm not going to. I can't hold you in here if I want to. She gonna check my box. But I to your point earlier, it's this whole thing is making me realize how much we depend on human interaction, and how important it is, not just like for social purposes, but just like emotionally and mentally, like how pivotal those moments are. I don't know what Kaleacia said earlier, but my cousin is pregnant, and me and my cousin, that's my, like, for real. And so when she told us, like, I was so excited to go through this journey with her. When she told me, I was boohoo crying, like, oh my gosh. And then I think last week she had posted a picture of her belly, and I'm like, whoa, like, where's the time gone, for one? And for two, she had to do a no contact baby shower, literally a drive-through baby shower. People drop stuff up and go. And I'm just like, this is literally a time where we should be like surrounding you with love and like excited about this new baby coming, and we can't even enjoy it. Like, when your baby comes, I'm not gonna see the baby till he's 1 year old. So it's just like it makes you think about how, like, important those, like, that social interaction is. Just like the thought of having to go through this pandemic and not being able to, like, touch people or spend time with people. I know somebody that lost somebody very, very close in their church due to COVID-19, and they couldn't even say goodbye. Like, they couldn't even say, like, that type of stuff. It was literally, like, blowing my mind. So that added a new layer to the pandemic that I didn't realize was going to affect me like it has. And I'm real, like, it's more just than just mental health from, like, being isolated, but it's like making sure that my mental health is okay. From not having that interaction that I normally have, not having that ability to confide in the people I want to confide in, or hug the people I want to hug. And I don't think we think about it, but I don't know if people really understand, like, that's half the reason why we need to make sure that we're making sure that we are mentally okay during these times. And that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to do these segments, is because we have to make sure that after this pandemic is done, that we're in a mentally okay state, not just mentally, but emotionally, physically. Like, we need to make sure that we're coming out of this and not letting us leave lasting effect that it doesn't have to. And so that will go into my next question. And I think this will be the last one, because I feel like y'all be dropping gems already. What is some advice, or I'll just say advice, that you can give people on how you're dealing with and coping with this time in pandemic, social distancing, how you're handling that? What is some advice you can give people?
You want to go first, Bestie?
I can. I would say, and I'm going to say this because this is something that I think we all are struggling with. Give yourself some grace. I think going into this, we did not take it as we're really in a pandemic, right? And so I think, and I can speak for myself, I went into this really like, when I come out, I got to have a plan. I need to have my business prepared. I need to know how to do X, Y, and Z. I put all this pressure on myself when our seasons are different, right? And I think that a lot of times in seasons like this, we're comparing ourselves, right? Oh, my friend is doing this, so I got to do something. I see this on social media, so I got to do something. The world is putting pressure on us, right? Social media is putting pressure. If you don't come out of this with a vision or a dream, then you ain't doing nothing. You know, all of this stuff. And I found myself in this spiral, like going crazy, because I'm like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something. And I remember even talking to Key, we went on a hike, and I was just like, I feel like I'm stuck. Like, I feel like I need to be making sure that I'm utilizing my time. And I need to make sure that when I come out of this, that I'm better than I was when I went in it. And she was talking to me, and it was just like, you got to give yourself some grace and know that all of our seasons are different. And for some of us, this season may be to rest, right? Because we're always going, we're always moving, we're always doing something, we're always busy. I was looking today, and I was like, how when I get a pedicure, and I don't know why it dawned on me, but I was like, when I get a pedicure and a manicure, I always do gel. And it's not because I feel like, oh, I'm all that, I got to have gel. It's because I want to get in and get out, right?
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. So I'm going to pay the extra money for you to put this on my toes. But I don't want to sit under nobody's dryer. I want to sit down, get my feet done, and get on about my business. And so we live our lives so busy. And for some of us, it's like for where God wants to take us next, or for what you may have next, you may need to rest up in this season, right? And don't put a ton of pressure on you to produce something when this may not be your season to produce, right? And I was listening to Sarah Jakes. I really love this girl. And she was talking about in life how we do full circles and we make complete circles. And when the circle closes when we've completed something, and it doesn't have to be nothing big, but your circle closes is this day last year, me being here and evolving, that's my circle closing, right? I've made a full circle. And she said sometimes when we're sitting inside of that circle, we just feel like we're walking around. Mm-hmm. But if you step out of that circle and you look at it, it's a spiral that's going up. And you don't look at things like that. And that touched me because I'm like, that's what it is. We work, we do all these things where we're bettering ourselves. I'm not the same girl I was yesterday. I'm not the same girl I was 5 days ago. But because I've put these standards on me, and I've made this list of things that I have to check off before, going into this, I beat myself up when, if you really sit down, and this is to the cyber world, everyone's listening, if you really sit down and think about some things that you've done throughout this week, even if that's meant you were a bum and you slept all day, that is okay. Literally. Because when this thing lifts, some of us have real lives and real responsibilities, and we don't get to rest. Yeah. So if you took a day to yourself and rested, that's fine. If you wanted to learn a new skill, like you watch YouTube, I've been looking on YouTube making stuff. Now, granted, I've been gaining weight, and I got to come after that, but I'm taking the pressure off of me, right? Like I'm like, yeah, I've legit been cooking, and I'm not the one my husband cooks. I'm not the one that really cooks, but I've been like, okay, let me try to make this cake. My bestie gave me a recipe. Let me make this cake. Let me do this. Let me do that. Take the pressure off. I found myself doing things that I never thought I would do. I went hiking. Listen, I don't hike. You know what I'm saying? I've been going on walks. I've been cooking. I've been just sitting here making time for me. And so it's like now I'm starting to enjoy. It's like, just find things that are new. Find things that are for you. Take the pressure off. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Even if it's your close friends, your family members, don't compare yourself. You find out what God's vision is for your life. You find out what you want to do, and you focus on that. If that means this is a season where you have to chill and relax and rest, do so, because you don't know what you're going to have to face when this lifts. Life is not going to be normal. We have a new norm that we have to adjust to. We have a new norm that we're going to have to get comfortable with. And so if that means in this time, I sit here and get healthy, right? A lot of times we eat so bad going. A lot of times we just grabbing what we can. If this is the time where I say, you know what? I'm going to eat better. I'm going to spend more time with my children because we work all the time. Yeah. Let me see what my child is up to. Let's just have a movie night with them. Let me check on my sister, the one that I've never been able to really hang with because I'm always busy. Let me go spend time with my grandmother, right? Let me go talk to my mom. Let me mend some relationships. Mm-hmm. Yes. A lot of us have family members that we don't deal with because we have a lot of underlying issues that we haven't addressed. This is the perfect time for us to start talking. We have nothing but time, right? And so it's just like, take the pressure off. Don't feel like you have to come out of this with a Fortune 500. Don't feel like you have to be the CEO of anything right now. Don't feel like you have to come out this great theologian. You know what I'm saying? Like, take the pressure off and do what's best for you and do what's best for your family and try to be happy. Like, in all of this, be happy. There's a joy that we can find. There's a joy that's out there for us that's unspeakable. That's not predicated on all this material stuff, right? I was talking to a girlfriend and she was saying, living in California, if you base your happiness off of material things, you'll never be happy.
No, not at all.
It's expensive. It costs to live here, right? So if you only are happy when you can do stuff, buy stuff, touch stuff, all that, then you'll never really be happy, because out here it costs and stuff happens and you got to figure it out and you got to be able to be flexible.
Yeah.
So don't take the, so I said all that to say, take the pressure off. Live your life, enjoy your life, have fun, find out who you really are and love on you. We want to post who we are and not who we're supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's two different people you deal with. You deal with yourself and you deal with who you post. We want to be the same, right? We want to be the same person. Yeah. And so let's work on that. The biggest investment in our clothes that you can make is an investment within, because you're going to always get a return. Amen.
Amen. So all my things, Courtney, girl, I don't got nothing to say but lift an offering. Hallelujah. I will just say, and we definitely, me and Chris had to have that conversation. And I was thankful that we did, because you don't realize how much pressure you put on yourself. And early on in this experience, I saw this meme and it said, you do not have to be productive right now. Yeah. And when I tell y'all, I thank the Lord that I saw that early in this experience when I did, because it really helped to free me to find rest. Now I haven't been as successful as I would like to be in just being able to turn down and power off. But what that said was that it gave me permission to just be. This is something real. And to Chris's point, I've never experienced something like this in my lifetime, right? We are adjusting to something new. You are not going to be able to, and me and Fee were talking about this today, walk out of your house and experience life like you did pre this experience. And so to Chris's point, this is a time for us to gear up. I also believe, and I know that, we have all types of people that are watching this, but I really do believe, especially for folks that profess to be saved and for Christians, God is bringing us back to the basics and really giving us the essentials again and fortifying our foundation, because when we get out of this, we're going to have to build, and we're going to have to build in some unusual environments, right? You're going to have to produce in some unusual circumstances. And if your foundation isn't right, if you don't really know how to pray, if you don't really, we've been talking about worshiping in our Bible study, if you don't really know how to get into God, like for yourself, then whatever you build on, it's not going to last. And so I really think that this is a moment in time for us to get back to the basics, not just spiritual basics, but get in there and learn how to make some beans and rice, because you never know. You might be on that. You go, like we all in here, we trying to be away from the camera because of our brows and stuff. You're gonna have to, it's gonna be a little bit back to the basics for a while, but I think all of that is necessary. Reinvest in your family, reinvest in your core, because we've spent so much on our exterior person. We've spent so much, like Chris said, on the person that we post. Yeah. And we've lost the person within. And I know, just to share some things for myself, it's been me getting to know me again. Yeah. Because I don't have the luxury of distraction. Yeah. I don't have the luxury of busyness.
It's real.
Busyness allowed me to not deal with Kaleacia because I had to go from work, and then I have to get on a BART train in a certain time to get to Bible study, to do something, then to get back home, then to come to work, then to do the social event, then to do that. And all of that provided a nice little escape from me.
Yeah. Your reality.
And now with everything that has slowed down, I have to deal with me. I have to get to know me again. I have to figure out, why is it that you didn't do X, Y, and Z? And you can only lie to yourself for so long. Day 19, we've been doing this. I know for me and Chris, our job sent us home early before San Francisco shut down. So we've been in this a little while, and you get to a point where you have to really start confronting you. You have to start digging out your emotional closet and start dealing with you. And part of what I've been trying to do is do that work.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy to do that work. And it's exhausting. Yeah. It's not. And so some things that I've been doing is like, I used to write a bunch. Like I used to write a bunch of poetry. I used to write a ton. And I kind of pulled out my old poetry book, and I just started just transcribing some of the words that I wrote at that age and stage in my life when I was 20, right? Because I've had a birthday in quarantine. And so it naturally tries to make you, you got to guard your mind. And so I've been doing stuff like that and introducing myself to me and the woman that I've become, and not being afraid to do that, because I don't have to see nobody. I don't got to put on for nobody. I'm not running from here or there. The other thing that I would say to the folks that's listening is be honest with yourself, especially as it comes to mental health. Yeah. Be honest with yourself. You need to, if you can, get you somebody that is your, I don't know, emergency contact, emotional support, whatever it is. You need to have some people that you can be honest with during this time, because it is going to be highs and lows. One moment you are going to talk way up on the mountain, and then you will have a week like I had last week where I felt like I was literally spiraling out of control. And so you have to have some people in your life that you can call up, that you can text, that you can reach out to, and you can say, I'm hurting right now.
Yeah.
Because there is power in touch. There is power in a hug. And when you are in environments, especially for my people that are single and might be living alone, and you don't have human interaction, you're not able to physically touch, feel, hold, that can play on your mind. And that does not mean that you're weak. And so you have to banish all of those thoughts and be honest about where you are, and find somebody that you can talk to. The other thing that I would say is also be honest about how much news that you can take in.
Yeah.
You have to be honest with that. I love, one of my favorite podcasts that I would listen to almost every day is The Daily, the New York Times The Daily, right? That's my jam. And I also love The Skim, right? That's my jam. But I would say 2-ish weeks into this experience, I had to shut all that down.
Yeah.
I had to shut all that down. I couldn't, and it doesn't mean that I'm trying to escape from reality. I check in, I read what I gotta read, but I had to shut it down, because mentally I couldn't handle that. Right. I couldn't handle it. And so you have to be honest with yourself on how much of that you can eat before you get a stomach ache.
Yeah. And know that it's okay.
It's okay.
A lot of times that people don't want to talk about their mental health issues, it's because they feel like it's okay. It's okay. And a lot of us, and if I could say it, in our community, we teach that you can't feel the way that you do. Right? And so we grew up with that, like, I can't tell people that this is how I'm feeling. I can't tell people that I really don't know how I'm going to make it. Let us be clear. We all are facing it, right? We all, we try to look good when necessary, and we try to clean up well when we have to. But at the end of the day, like she said, this has been a battle. Because it does cause you, whether you want or not, it causes you to look within. Yeah. It causes you to see why you react the way that you do, why you do the things that you do. And you have your moments like, why am I not where I'm supposed to be? What things in my life have caused me to kind of, fall back? Why have I been so distracted? And when you start really tuning in and getting those answers, it don't always feel good. Yeah. It does hurt. But the only way we can heal is if we feel that pain. We got to deal with it so we can move forward. So be okay knowing that you're not okay. You know what I'm saying?
Say something. Say something. Silence is not where we at right now. You have to be okay. Part of what I've been studying, this is for like our Bible study, is around, I was telling Chris, and I done told both of y'all, how that woman with the issue of blood won't leave me alone, and how she told the whole truth. Yeah. And we got to get in a place, y'all, where we can tell the whole truth. Now, I'm not telling you tell it to everybody. You know what I mean? Face your problems. Don't Facebook them. Like, you know what I mean? You got to know who you can tell it to. But there's a transparency that we need to get to as a people, as women, right? Especially as our women, because you're in the homes and you are not just working your jobs, but you are cooking all the meals and you're doing the homeschooling, and it's a lot. And so you have to make sure that you're able to be honest about where you are and take a moment to step away and have a moment for yourself, because all of that is managing what's going on the inside. And I really can't stress it enough. Be careful what you feed yourself in this season.
Yeah, really.
Be careful what you feed yourself. Be careful and I don't mean just a physical diet, although that's important too, y'all, because we at home, and please don't. You got to choose who you want to be coming out of quarantine. I'm going to pause parenthetically here, like the preachers do. You got to choose if you're going to come out of this with the COVID-19 or you going to come out. You got to make a choice. Choose you this day. Okay? You're going to have to make a choice. Okay? And I hate to be the one. Felicia just made some tea cakes. And for people who don't know this, like in the South, tea cakes is a type of cookie. Okay? You're going to have to choose, and it's after me. Them sweets, them cakes is after me. But I said, I can't. So, choose.
or you want to be, or you're gonna have to pick one.
Fluffy.
Okay.
Listen,
Pick it today. Pick it today. But you're gonna have to pick it today. But not only what we feed ourselves like physically, but what you feed yourself emotionally. What programs am I watching? Right?
Yeah.
What programs, what music am I listening to? You know what I mean? Like you really do. What books am I reading? And diversify, pick up a book, do something, like walk. All of that stuff is, we can't undervalue it in these seasons, because it's all going to aid in how we make it through it. And I say through intentionally, y'all, because we won't always be here. And I know that once we get on the other side, it's going to look different, but we are going to go through here. We're not going to die here. God did not bring us here to kill us off. We are moving through. We're moving forward. We will come out better. We still have to hope for better. And we don't just have a blind hope. Our hope is rested in Jesus, right? We know that we're going to get through this, right? It might not look the same, be the same, but all of it is working together for our good. Why? Because we love him and he called us. Hallelujah. None of this is catching God by surprise. He's not up there racking his brain trying to figure out what to do next. It's going to come together, right? And it's we don't know why we had to pass through this moment, but I'm reminded of Job when he says he knows the way that I take.
Hey, come on now.
He knows why I had to pass through this moment, and not just the COVID moment, but why you maybe had to pass through getting pregnant at a young age, or why you maybe had to pass through losing your job, or why you had to pass through that breakup. He knows the road that we take. And I think that the best thing that we can do is keep taking steps.
Yeah.
It's the press. You know what I mean? The woman with the issue of blood, she got in the press, right? That means she took a step. And you guys don't realize that how you win just by taking a step.
Come on, Key.
You don't just win at the end when the bell rings. You win by the steps. And every day that you get up, every day that you at home and you say, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to change my clothes and put on my pajamas. Every day you say, you know what, it sucks. It's 8 o'clock and I'm tired, but I'm going to open that laptop. Every day you say, you know what, I don't get these kids homework, but we're going to sit here and we're going to work it out. Every day you get up, you're in the press and you're pressing towards your next day. And sometimes me and Chris, we was running yesterday, you know, hashtag Team Fitty, and we would walk. And we would say, okay, we're going to walk to that red sign. And then we're going to run to the next red sign. We didn't say we're going to run the whole lake. We said we're going to run to that sign. And when I get to that sign, I set another target.
Right.
And when I get to that sign, I set another target. And before you know it, we done left this lake. It was done in baby steps. It wasn't done all the time. And so maybe we get up on Monday and we say, my target for today is I'm going to clean out my spice cabinet. And I'm going to celebrate that wins. Like Elder Holmes told us, Kristal husband, at the beginning of the year, we stack our successes. We always say, I want to be successful, as if it's one destination, but it's comprised of many moments. It's our moments. And so I'm going to stack them. I did my spice rack.
I'm going to do my makeup brushes.
Come on. I clean my makeup brushes. I'm going to celebrate it.
And one thing I want to say to Key's point, because I think it's two-sided, and I want to say wrap up. I'm so churchy sometimes.
All right.
I know the time is going, but I want to also address those who are mentally strong, that when someone who is not as mentally strong and talks to you, handle them with care, right? I think a lot of times we get on the people who don't want to talk about their issues, but I feel like a lot of them don't talk about their issues because they've trusted someone and they've been dropped, right? And so if you are one who may be listening, who people do tend to confide in you and people do want to talk to you and you do have the answers many times, treasure those moments. It's a gift. Have you ever met someone who I ain't telling my business to that person. Come on. How they talk about people when I'm in their presence, you won't get to talk about me. That's not a good feeling to be that person. It is a blessing to be someone that people trust. It is a blessing to be someone that people confide in. And I believe that when God makes you a person like that has that quality, it is not for you to go and tell their business. It's not for you to beat up on them, even if you don't understand. I don't know what it feels like to deal with suicide, but I've talked to people who've dealt with it. And I try to put myself in their shoes, right? I don't say, oh God, no, you can't, what? You're dealing with what? We have to have a level of compassion, and we have to empathize, and we have to bring back humanity. I think that's what this is about. We got to start loving each other again. He is our Father, right? He has no respect of person. God doesn't love me more than he loves you or love anyone
you know, more than he loves me. He's our Father together, and he treats us differently. And so when our brother or sister comes to us and is having a real moment, let's treasure those moments.
Yeah.
Even if you don't understand them. Be wise in your speaking, right? Like, I have to be wise. Like, when people come and say stuff to me, before I'm learning to not be so quick to give my opinion, but kind of taking it back. And if you can't answer at that moment, get back to them, but let them know that you're praying. Even if that means we pray right then and there. But I've seen so many people be dropped, and then you have people who need to be picked up, and it's this fight because I want to trust, but I can't, because the person I did trust, I heard in the streets. I want to love, I want to be there, but I can't. I want to tell somebody that I feel like killing myself. But last time they put a subliminal Facebook post up about me, right? Social media has become evil. And so
weapons of mass destruction.
It's crazy. We've turned it into this thing where we have to prove these points and compete and all of this. And it's like, listen, it's unnecessary, right? So I want to encourage that we try to bring back humanity. Be encouraged, because guess what? There is some people who are really at home right now with no income. Like, everything has been cut. They're depending on unemployment right now and don't even know if they're getting that. There's some woman at home dealing with domestic violence. There's domestic violence. There's some child who's being touched. You know what I'm saying? Where their escape was to go to school.
And they can't go to school.
They can't go to school now. They're home. And so it's like, bring back humanity. Don't be so mean in this season. Love people, because you don't know what they're dealing with day to day. As crazy as these grocery stores have been, as crazy as Target has been, as crazy as all these places have been, I have been trying not to be combative. I have been trying to show love, because you don't know what these people are going home to. You don't know if they're trying to get out here because they got their food stamps today and their kids haven't eaten. It's like, because we are privileged, we put ourselves in this box. We put ourselves in this box. We're in this bubble when there's a real life world out there who don't have it like we have it, right? And so just to bring back that humanity and just try to be gentle. Try to hold people's secrets that maybe you've struggled with that. This is an opportunity for you to kind of hold it. If someone confides in you, try to hold it. Try to love more. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier said than done. And it goes back to Keith's point of like the within, like, why am I mean? Why am I so snappy? Why am I impatient? You know what I'm saying? But try to bring that back up, because what I do think is he's showing himself through our love and kindness. That's how we draw, right? We don't draw with always preaching. We don't draw with always teaching. We draw with love. And when people feel love, they gravitate to love. And you guys, what I have noticed in all of this, the world needs love. It is so wicked. It's doggish out there, right? The world needs love. And I've been finding myself in prayer, just trying to pray for these families, because I've just been feeling that about children. Like, you have children that are suffering and we can't do anything, but we are connected, right? We serve someone who has control over it all. And I think God wants to bring prayer back. You know what I'm saying? And if you're someone who is not spiritual, that's okay, because everyone's going to get to know him. Right? You're going to have your opportunity to get to know. Right. You still need your love. You still need love. You still need someone to care about. You still need to care about others. So that's one thing I just wanted to point out, because I've been hearing, like, mental health has been the topic. I have two good friends who I think this will be posted afterwards, but one is a doctor and one has her master's, and they have degrees in this stuff, right? And so when it comes to psychology and all that, they own it, because they do this day by day. And it's just been like a blessing, because people are really dealing with mental health who have never dealt with it before. So I think the topic is, if you guys want to, they're going to be going live on May 24th, Facebook Live. I can share that out, but it's been a blessing. I listened to them last week, but it's needed right now. But amongst all of that, we have two different groups, and I just wanted to address that. Like, we have the group who's dealing, but we have that other group that's supposed to be strong. And sometimes when you're strong, it's I want to say, to bear the infirmities of the weak at times. And so you have to be okay with just being a kind ear. Sometimes we won't have the answers. There's been people who've talked to me and I didn't know what to say, but I'm going to listen. And I know when we're done, the minute, what I can do at least is pray, right? But just I wanted to just bring that up. Just if you are the one, because, you know, sometimes people are like, well, I don't deal with mental issues. That's fine. But you may be someone that people confide in. And this isn't the season to be a backstabber. This isn't the season to be messy or gossip. One thing that I do know, this pandemic has put us all on an even playing field.
Better say something.
We all are on ain't nobody greater than the other right now.
And and that was like the perfect, and I think we, like you said, Kristal, we don't really deal with the people who are not going through, but I love you guys to death. Like, I just love my circle of friends. And I love the way God really brings things full circle, because everything, I feel like all the things that I've wanted to talk about, like either other people that I've had this conversation with have brought up. And I love the way God keeps people, God always has them on their mind for other people to intercede or to pray. Because that's been one of the biggest things on my mind about those who the children going, like, I said this on the last episode, we take for granted, or sometimes we don't think about, because I had to check myself on my compassion level when it came to those people on the courthouses protesting and going crazy about wanting to be let out. And my compassion had to be checked, because I have to realize that even though I'm blessed to have a home that has peace, that's not everybody's situation.
Come on now.
You really have to take into account, if you are a person who's strong, or you may be going through the same thing, but you still have a level of strength to hand over to somebody, to keep those people on your mind. Because again, not everybody is blessed enough to live in a house where there is peace. People are going through,
or have your own room, or have your own space. There were times like rodents could be like, it's all of these things that people don't think about.
Right. That's not everybody's grace that we have. And for those who have that certain amount of grace, you have to keep those people on your mind. When I see those people protesting, at first used to irritate me, because I'm like, people, we have not got this under control. But some people are like, listen, I'd rather get sick than be in this house. I'd rather get sick than have to stay in this, like, and that's the reality of it. So I just love how God literally brings everything full circle. He always has it on people's mind, no matter what. And I really appreciative of you guys and your input, because everything you guys said was absolutely essential, absolutely key. And it was the perfect way to end this segment, honestly.
Wait, can I say something before we get done? Okay. I wanted to add one caveat to Chris's, well, not a caveat, but like an addition to it, was that when she was saying, be careful how you handle people. And the other thing that I would love to add there is to have your eyes open for warning signs.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are just not going to talk. Right. And so not only is it when they do come to me that I am a safe place, that's really what she was telling us, be a safe place for people, but also not be so focused on you. And I have a hard time, because you get, when I'm paper chasing, I got tunnel vision. But like, you got Major Key. Y'all, I got an album coming out. I'm talk about that. Major Key. But I got my album coming out. It's going to drop soon. I'm gonna let y'all know, because I want y'all to cop that. But not be so into you that you don't see the warning sign.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you have to be able to, if you're talking, and this is extending just beyond your circle of friends, although it definitely applies there, but even your coworkers.
Yeah.
If you're talking to people and they sounding a little, you know what I mean? Or you notice that maybe their countenance has fallen, different things like that. It's okay to hit them on the side and have a human-centered moment. You don't got to get in people's business. You don't got to want them to tell you all of their business, but just to check in and say, are you okay? How is it going? That's necessary. And then the other thing I would say for those of the folks who can, really seek God on how to give in this season.
Yeah.
And I know that there is, because this is how I was thinking when all of this stuff hit, because it's like, you really don't know what's going to happen with your job. You know what I mean? We blessed, but you really don't know. You don't really know what's going to happen to your retirement funds. You really don't know what's going to happen to your savings. Like we came into 2020 like, you know what I mean? And then got hit with that. Like, gotta pump the brake. He's like, I got something for that behind, And so you came into it thinking now, money moves. We doing all of this stuff. And now it's this tendency to be like, I need to hoard what I got. You know what I mean? Yes, I need 5 bags of beans, because I need 5 bags of beans. You know what I mean? Yeah. And where you can, and I know that this feels counter to what we're trying to do in terms of like preserving ourselves and doing what we need for our families, but give. Yeah. Like, if you can, give. And sometimes that will be monetarily. Sometimes that will be like Kristal Dad, I'm going to give you a roll of toilet paper. I'm going to give you that. Maybe your giving is a kind word, but where you can give, push yourself to give, right? And it's not so much that we do it for what we're going to get back, although I firmly believe that God is going to bless you exponentially for sowing in this time. But it's about being, like Kristal said, an extension of his hand.
Yeah.
It's literally about being an extension of his hand. You are the answer to somebody's problem.
Yeah.
And I know we've probably never thought about ourselves like that, but what if somebody's praying for something and God has made you the answer for that?
Yeah.
What if somebody, they're sitting at home, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get my kids through this? And you know you got an A in science. Be an answer to somebody's problem. And it's going to look differently, but I just really want to challenge those who can give. I'm not telling you where to give. That's for you and God to talk through. But so in this moment.
Yeah, real talk.
That was
Major key hits again.
again. Y'all, thank you so much for coming on. I'm just so happy. You gotta understand.
Don't ask us again, child.
The way y'all talk, y'all might be regulars, okay?
Courtney had us. I can't speak for my bestie because I see her on the FaceTimes through the week. So she be getting glammed up for her meetings and all that good stuff. I only get dressed once a week. So,
and I caught you on your dress day.
This was a lot for me because I got about an hour of FaceTime and she had me sitting in my makeup for
Listen, well, next time I'll utilize you more for this face that you took the time to do, okay? God bless you. God bless you.
Y'all know Sundays is key day, okay?
Yeah,
Sundays is my get dressed day, y'all.
It's her
I
get
know about
dressed
y'all.
day.
Sundays is her get dressed day.
Yeah, y'all be sitting at home in jeans and stuff, and I'll be like, what are you trying to prove?
I don't even know if I can fit jeans anymore. I have been in leggings and I do try to get together from the neck on up.
Well, I gotta get dressed every day, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
In sweatpants and leggings.
Monday, I don't even know.
I feel like as long as you brush your teeth and wash your face, don't bother me.
I messed around and put some jeans on for my Target run. I couldn't breathe. I said, "We're in a pickle. We're in a whole pickle."
What we get? Part of the new normal. I had posted being funny. I had posted on Instagram and was like, "I don't know how we're going to bring bras back into the equation." I don't.
Well, you know what? I have been putting on a soft cup bra because y'all know I have prophesied it to y'all. The Lord gave me a word to y'all at the beginning of quarantine. You don't remember, Courtney? I'll share with your viewers. Some of y'all gonna really mess up when it comes to, is this all women? Can I say breast on your line?
Not all women. Let's take it offline.
Some of y'all, just edit it if I can't say breast. I don't understand.
Okay, well, let me hold on.
Well, I done already gave the people a taste.
Okay, well, you might as well tell the people.
It's fine. We're in a world where, come on, listen.
I can say breast. Okay. Y'all been walking around here. I feel this like Sarah Jakes. I feel this for somebody. Y'all been walking around here with no bra on. When the Lord grants release, you're going to be in a whole pickle. Pick your breast up. Pick them. I'm telling y'all, you don't got to pick them up. Arrest them. You got to arrest them. You don't got to arrest them every day. You don't got to do it every day. Hear me. That was another word that the Lord gave me at the beginning of quarantine because he knew how long this was going to go. And he knew I had the propensity to go left. Some of y'all going to find yourselves in a pickle. Arrest them. 2 days out of the week. Make a commitment. Because if you don't,
you know what? I hope the Lord blesses you from that. Arrest them is the word for the rest of the video. Arrest them. Again, thank you so much, Kristal, Lisa, for joining me for Wellness Change. I will link their Instagrams and stuff below. Kaleacia is not social media savvy, so y'all just gonna see her when you see her. But thank you guys. You don't know me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and share this love. And we hope you all are blessed. Bye.
Amen.